So I have a lot of compassion for people and all their desperate attempts to cover up their sin, like Adam and Eve, putting leaves to cover their nakedness. But just because one has compassion, one can't bend the truth. And so it's understandable that we are not made to be condemned. We are not made to feel bad. We are made to feel good in God's presence. So when we see this corruption in us, it's the most natural thing to cover it up, to put a spin on it, to call it addiction or being on the spectrum, instead of actually being something that is a corruption as sin, something that is wrong, that we're responsible for, that is even evil and wicked, that we have to ask God to remove from us. And that natural tendency to cover up and to spin reality explains why there are just so many self-help books. You can walk into any bookstore, and one of the biggest, thickest sections is going to be the psychology, self-help, and spiritual DIY sections of that bookstore or of a library. God's solution is different and better. God doesn't bypass the cancer, the sin. He makes us face it fully, and He took it fully on Himself on the cross. But we are called to be identified fully with Christ, not just identified with the resurrection positive effect. It says if we are buried with Him in death, then we will be resurrected. We can't bypass that. And so when people are going through their time of repentance, of gravitas, of reality, and that sorrow and wrestling, we mustn't rush them through it. We must let them be buried in it until God raises them up.